Governor, good morning. Let me ask you about a new poll that just crossed from Suffolk University, the Boston Globe. You obviously have put the majority of your time and effort into the important state of New Hampshire. That poll shows Donald Trump at 49%, Nikki Haley at 19%. She's down 30 points, but up at 19. DeSantis at 10, and you, Governor Christie, at 6 points. Among Trump voters, 85% of them say they are resolute in their vote. There's no chance they're changing. They're with him. They don't care about everything we've talked about on this show. They don't care about all the cases against him, the indictments, the felony charges. They're riding with him. So how do you change that dynamic in the state that you've said is the most important to your success?
First of all, because when you look at that poll, Willie, and I don't want to get too into granular detail, but it's a poll that wouldn't even count to qualify somebody for the Republican debates because the sample is so small and the sample doesn't represent who's going to be voting in that primary. There's going to be no Democratic primary in New Hampshire. And so independents are going to be voting in large numbers in the Republican primary because there's no other game for them to play. And you know, from spending time in New Hampshire, and obviously so does Mike, this is their Super Bowl, except they only have it once every 4 years. They got a ticket to the game, and now they can only sit on one side of the stadium. Well, just because they can only sit on one side of the stadium doesn't mean they're not going to come. They're going to come. And that poll, the sample on that poll is just so different. Every other poll I've seen in the past 6 weeks in New Hampshire has Donald Trump below 40. And I think that's where he is. I think he's somewhere between 34 and 38%. And in those polls, I'm in 12 to 15%. And I think that's much more where the race is now. And it still doesn't count independents in nearly the number you're going to see them turn out in the Republican primary in New Hampshire. We're going to win the thing in New Hampshire. Trump is going to be in bad shape as these trials continue to go and people start to see that this guy's going to spend more time in a courtroom than he's ever going to spend at a rally or any place else trying to defeat Joe Biden. If we as Republicans want to beat him, we better have somebody who's going to actually be able to campaign, not somebody who is going to be sitting in a courtroom as a condition of bail where they're out on bail in 4 different jurisdictions.